Instead of doing a college football playoff tracker for you guys, I wanted to create a series that keeps track of all of your favorite college football teams almost in the style of a video game, which I'm going to be calling the College Football Playoff Ladder. This ladder is going to keep track of every single college football team from the ones that are trying to compete for a college football playoff spot to the schools that are just in year one of a rebuild. So the goal is your team is always in the race for the ladder, and there are certain metrics that you can hit to help your team go up the ladder, as well as certain metrics that can hurt your team to go down the ladder. This is going to more accurately describe where your team is on a national level and put group of 5 teams right there up there with Power 5 teams. I myself am a Nebraska fan, so I know we're not going to be competing for a college football playoff spot, but I am curious to see how we stack up against Iowa, the Big Ten West, and just the national landscape as a whole. But enough describing the ladder, let me actually show you guys what the ladder looks like right now. This is level 0, as low as it can possibly get. There are some teams that started here that haven't been able to get out yet, and there are some teams that started in level 1 but fell back to level 0. All Power 5 schools start with 1 point that keeps them on level 1, but if you lose to a non-Power 5 school, you go back down to level 0. And every level represents 1 point. Now we get into the first 5 levels, since there's only been 5 points allocated so far through week 2. Being a Power 5 team and beating all your non-Power 5 teams keeps you at level 1. And as a non-Power 5 team, if you have beaten a Power 5 team, you also go up to level 1. In levels 2 and 3, you may be surprised to see some teams that are higher than you would have thought, and also to see some teams lower than you would have thought. But here's a couple reasons why. To begin the year, a team got 1 point for each of the following: being ranked in the top 25 in the preseason, being a Power 5 team, or being a team that has a 50% blue chip ratio, which means more than 50% of your team has 4 or 5 stars. And now we get to levels 4 and 5, where Florida State and Texas remain. Both schools got an additional point for beating a top 10 team, but Texas had the blue chip ratio and Florida State didn't, so Texas is the only team remaining at level 5. So just to use Texas as an example, they were a Power 5 team, they were ranked in the top 25 preseason, they got a top 10 win, and they have a 50% blue chip ratio. So they're the only team sitting on level 5 because they started on level 1. I'll be updating the ladder every single week as we get further into the season. We'll see who can get to level 20 the fastest, but let me know who you guys are cheering for in the comments and if you like this idea.